Get Sharp. I'm your host, Joe Fortenbaugh. Monday night preview and a special guest, Bill Swirsky of Bill Swirsky Superfans.
Stop Bears! Stop Bears!
Our man Chuck Esposito from the Palazzo and the Venetian here to help us break down the big game tonight between his Chicago Bears and my Philadelphia Eagles. Philly opens at around a 7-point favorite in this one. Lines moved up just a little bit, maybe around 7.5 or 8. Chicago 4-3 coming off the bye. Philadelphia 3-4 coming off 2 straight wins. You take a look at this game, and it's a series that's seen success from the underdog. In the last 9 meetings, the underdog 7-2 against the spread in this series, as the Bears have given the Eagles a lot of trouble. What are your first thoughts when you look at this game?
Well, these two teams have played each other a lot over the past couple of years. When you look at Michael Vick against the Bears, even going back to his Atlanta days, 0-3. He's never beaten the Bears as a starting quarterback. The Bears are 4-3, as you said. It's a big game for both these two teams, as maybe they jockey for a wild card position later on in the season, seeing what happens. Vic only has 3 touchdowns and 3 INTs against the Bears. There's still a lot of non-believers if the Bears are any good or not. The Eagles are still that vogue team. They went here and go 4-4. They're still going to get a lot of backing the rest of the season. I think it's a great primetime game. We'll have great handle. Joe and I are going to have a little side bet on it as well, so it should be a lot of fun.
Well, you can go ahead and tell our public, what are we betting on this game?
We're going to bet lunch on this game. I tried to tell Joe that if the Bears win, he had to wear a Bears jersey and I'd wear an Eagles one, but he wouldn't go for it, so I'm not sure how confident he is. But it's a tough spot for the Bears, too, because I think you look at the Eagles and how well they played against the Cowboys. They look like they right the ship. I mean, the last 2 weeks against Torrey and then against the Cowboys, they haven't been able to run against that Eagle defense, which really seemed to have some holes. This game is going to be Matt Forte against Shady McCoy. I think the difference maker is going to be one of those 2 guys. Jay Cutler, also once in his career, a 4-touchdown pass game. That game came last game against the Eagles.
Slow down on the McCoy Forte talk, because I got a question for you on that later. But before we get to that, have you gotten a sense, working in this industry, that after what Philadelphia's done the last 2 weeks, people are starting to get back on the train? Or are people still wavering a little bit, thinking, all right, they've won 2 games, one of them was against Washington, let's still wait and see?
As strange as it sounds, Joe, this industry, the betting public really remembers the last thing that they saw. And they see a team on Monday Night Football look so dominant, or Sunday Night Football, excuse me, look so dominating against America's team. They're going to remember that. This was a team that they backed at the end of the season. It looks like they righted their wrong, that if they can beat here, that changes again. And you'll have a lot of people who say, maybe this Bears team is a little bit better than we thought. When you look at the Bears, they're 4-3, but their losses, Lions, Packers, Saints, all the better teams. So if they lose here, they'll be 4-4, but they can't get over the hump against the good teams. It's a big game for both teams. I can't wait to see it, as I said tonight.
Come Monday night, tonight obviously, what do you see the public doing in this situation? Do you think they're going to come in like we just said on the Eagles, or do you think there might be some late Bears support?
I think you'll see some Bears support, but again, because the Bears haven't beaten any of the top teams, and the Eagles looked so good against the Cowboys last week, I think they're going to back the Eagles in this one. Although Vic has had his struggles, he's gone up and down the field. He's averaging over 330 yards when he starts against the Bears. The difference is he's had that critical turnover late in the game. If he can prevent that, I think it's a very tough Eagle team to beat. Again, it's going to be based on, I think, the key here is going to be McCoy or Matt Forte.
The public loves overs, but when you take a look at this, the under is 5-1 in Philadelphia's last 6 home games. Where do you see this going? Because this is a Chicago team that Forte should find some success. We'll get to that in a little bit, but they've struggled at times in the passing game, and they're going up against some good cornerbacks tonight. You look at Philadelphia, they've been able to put some points up, but in certain games, like the Washington game, not as many as you would expect. So do you think we're going to get into a possible shootout situation, or a little more defensive?
Vic has had some of his best games on Monday night. These 2 teams played last year, primetime game. I think it was 31-26. I think there'll be a lot of points scored. I really do. Both these defenses do have an Achilles heel where you can move the ball on and score. If they don't turn it over, if Vic and Cutler don't turn it over in the red zone, I think you see a lot of points on tonight.
Fantasy question. Let's get to what you've been alluding to all show, Mr. Superfan. Matt Forte versus LaShawn McCoy. Right now, 2 of not only the best running backs in recent weeks, these could be the 2 guys emerging as the best running backs in the game right now with the way they've been playing. Total yardage, who do you see putting up more?
I would say it's going to be really close. I think both these guys are phenomenal, but I favor Forte for one reason. The Bears don't have anything else. No, seriously, you look at Philadelphia, he's got 3 or 4 wideouts that can get the ball. He's got Selleck, right? He's got Selleck that can get the ball. I mean, outside of Forte, he is the Bears' offense. You take Matt Forte out of the mix, the Bears might be winless as we speak today.
He's been having a hell of a year. Chuck Esposito from the Venetian and the Palazzo. I look forward to lunch, my friend. It's
Me
gonna
too,
be,
yeah.
that's a big number I got to cover, but we'll see what happens. But enjoy the games tonight, everybody. It should be a good one.